Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are strapping in for a really specific and critical look at how one massive project is trying to break its biggest bottleneck.
We're talking about the Pi Network.
Exactly. Specifically their KYC process, Know Your Customer, which has just undergone a major integration of artificial intelligence.
That's right. And our sources are detailing a pretty significant technical pivot here. It's all designed to move millions of users, or pioneers, off the launchpad and onto the mainnet.
So what's our mission for today's deep dive?
We need to analyze this integration. We need to look at its immediate role in speeding up that mainnet migration and really get into the nuts and bolts of what this shift means.
For who, though? The users.
For everyone,
Yeah.
for the pioneers stuck in the queue and also for the human validators who've been, doing the heavy lifting for years. Our goal is to give you the fastest, most thorough knowledge we can.
And the goal of this whole AI update, it seems pretty clear, is just acceleration, pure speed. They want to radically speed up KYC processing to unblock that migration.
Yeah.
But this isn't just some cosmetic change, right?
No, not at all. The critical piece of information for you to grasp is that they're leveraging technology that was already proven in their fast-track KYC.
And now they're applying it to the big one.
Now they're applying it to the make-or-break standard KYC process.
That distinction is so important. Could you break that down? What's the real difference between fast track and standard?
Of course. So think of it this way. The fast-track KYC, that was mainly for new users, getting them a wallet, getting them onboarded quickly. It was basically the proof of concept.
It proved the AI could work.
It proved the tech works.
Yeah.
The standard KYC, that's the whole game. That's for the established, long-time pioneers. It's the process that validates their accounts and lets their mine tokens finally move to the public mainnet.
So it's the difference between a test flight and, I don't know, loading up the actual passenger jet.
That's a great way to put it. One's a test, the other's the real, fully loaded vehicle.
Okay, so let's unpack the impact. Before this AI integration, KYC was this huge bottleneck. Can you just paint a picture of what was happening? Was it just slow?
It was more than just slow. It was creating a structural stress on the network, a kind of geographical imbalance.
What do you mean by that?
The network relies on human validators from a specific region to check applications from that same region, for ID authenticity, liveness checks, all of that.
Right.
So if a country didn't have enough active validators, the queue there would just swell. Pioneers got stuck, and it didn't matter how good their application was. It was a real fairness issue.
That sounds like a massive pain point.
Yeah.
So what's the immediate measurable impact of bringing this AI into the standard KYC process? I'm looking for a number here.
The core effect is immediate, massive scalability. And crucially, they're maintaining accuracy. The sources confirm that the AI integration cuts the queue of applications waiting for a human review.
By how much?
By 50%.
50%. Wow. That's not a tweak. That is a complete structural re-engineering of the process.
Yeah.
You're having the backlog instantly.
Exactly. And the immediate result is you're easing those validator bottlenecks everywhere, which reduces processing time from millions. It's like clearing half a traffic jam with technology instead of hiring more traffic cops.
And it directly addresses that issue you mentioned, the validator shortages.
It does. The AI can now step in and handle the bulk of that initial review work in regions that were struggling, which helps unblock migrations much faster.
Okay, so that's speed. What about the privacy and security side?
That's just as important. So sensitive user data was already redacted from human view. Validators never saw a full raw ID document. But this AI update goes a step further. It actually reduces the sheer amount of information that is ever displayed to a human validator in the first place.
That's fascinating. So it's not just hiding the data, it's minimizing human contact with it altogether.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, the AI does the heavy lifting, the matching, the verification. By the time an application even gets to a human, the AI has already confirmed the criteria with high confidence.
So what's left for the human to do?
They're only shown the absolute bare minimum needed to confirm the AI's assessment, maybe just a redacted section or a confirmation hash. It drastically limits their scope of review.
Which improves privacy and speeds things up because you're focusing the human just on the cases that really need a human eye.
Precisely. And what's really interesting here is how the mechanism ensures accuracy while getting that speed. The AI reviews, they're set to be very conservative on purpose.
Conservative, meaning what?
It's a deliberate design choice. It's aimed at preventing false positives.
So stopping the AI from accidentally passing a bad actor or a fake account.
Exactly. It's programmed to be overly cautious.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. If the AI is programmed to be so cautious, what happens to legitimate people who get caught in that net? Are their applications just rejected?
Absolutely not. And that's the whole point of the human
A
failsafe.
safety net.
Right. Any case where the AI is unsure, where its confidence score drops below a certain threshold, it gets routed directly to a human validator for a final determination.
And the goal there is what?
The goal is explicitly to reduce the AI's false negatives. Those are the cases the AI should have passed but rejected because it was being too cautious. The humans are there to bring nuance and judgment to the edge cases.
So the AI handles the obvious high-confidence stuff really fast. That's your 50% Q reduction.
Yes.
And the humans handle the challenging, ambiguous cases. It's like an optimized division of labor.
It is optimized, but it does raise a pretty profound operational question. If you only give your human validators the most complex, borderline cases,
Do they get less efficient over time?
right, do they lose their baseline because they stop seeing the easy ones? The network seems to believe the speed gain is worth that risk, and that focusing humans on the hard stuff actually results in a better overall product.
That's a great point.
Okay.
And connecting this back to the bigger picture, this whole KYC solution isn't just about moving tokens around, is it?
No, the aim is to provide accurate, accessible, and privacy-first identity verification. Not just for pioneers, but potentially for external services in Web3 or, well, the AI space.
Identity becomes a utility.
A decentralized, verifiable utility. And this AI integration is what strengthens that foundation.
That makes perfect sense. So this update, it dramatically reduces the direct workload for those human validators. What does that mean for the collective human resources of the network? Do people just stop validating?
That's probably the most important economic insight in our sources. The human labor doesn't just disappear. Validators still have plenty of high-stakes work, on those specialized cases.
But their total time spent is way down.
Exactly. So this collectively saved human labor force is essentially freed up for new, higher-value work inside the ecosystem.
So they're actively planning to reallocate this massive, verified pool of human labor. Where does it go?
The sources are pretty specific on this. This human capacity can be put to work on new opportunities from ecosystem utilities, particularly things that require human authenticity and feedback.
Okay, give me some concrete examples. What kind of opportunities?
The main one mentioned is providing human feedback to AI models or participating in reinforcement training products.
So you're shifting from simple verification grunt work to actively training the network's AI.
Precisely. Pioneers are moving from being a security check to becoming essentially a paid data labeling and training workforce.
This is a really powerful long-term vision. The fact that every pioneer is identity verified means this resource pool isn't just a crowd of users.
They become another platform-level utility.
A verified source of human authenticity, ready to be integrated by external services that need real human feedback for their own AI models.
It basically turns the user base into a verifiable service provider for emerging tech. And the AI integration into KYC is the strategic move that makes the whole system robust enough to handle that.
The acceleration seems clear, but is it translating into real results yet? What are the latest migration numbers?
The stats are undeniably impressive. As of the latest update, 17.5 million pioneers have fully passed KYC.
17.5 million.
And of those, 15.7 million pioneers have successfully migrated their tokens to the mainnet. That's a massive, verified, and active user base.
Those are enormous numbers for any project aiming for mass adoption.
They certainly are. But here's the most important actionable takeaway from our sources, especially if you're a pioneer listening to this.
Okay.
Despite all the success, there's an easy win right now. There are still about 3 million tentatively KYC'd pioneers who can unblock themselves.
3 million people stuck right at the finish line. That's a lesson in user experience, isn't it? The biggest barrier isn't some complex tech.
It's the final click.
It's the final click.
Exactly. The sources are urging these pioneers to just submit the additional liveness checks in the app. This isn't a technical queue issue anymore. It's a self-action requirement. Completing that check is the single biggest thing that can speed up the network right now.
Okay, now let's switch gears to the validators themselves. The rewards update. The sources say the work is ongoing, but why the delay in the first distribution? That seems like a pretty critical morale issue.
It is, and this raises a really important question about scale and retroactive accounting. The delay comes down to immense complexity.
Complexity in what way?
In accurately assessing and analyzing the hundreds of millions of validation paths that have accumulated since 2021. This isn't just cutting checks, it's auditing the entire history of the platform.
The sources break this down right
They
now.
do. 6 key points that really show how hard this is.
So walk us through them. When you talk about judging the quality of tasks across years, is this like trying to retroactively grade a huge college class where the textbook changed every single semester?
That is a perfect analogy. The first point is just the sheer volume of task data. We're talking hundreds of millions of individual tasks since 2021.
Right.
And right behind that is the second point. The complexity of that data. You have different task types, different results, and you have to judge the quality across different phases. Beta, testing, bootstrapping, scaled production.
So a task from 2021 when the rules were different has to be fairly compared against a task from today.
Precisely. You're not just counting tasks. You're assigning a weighted value and a quality score to work done under vastly different conditions.
What's next?
Third is the fundamental challenge of ensuring fairness in the rewards design, including where the funds even come from. Fourth is the scalability of the architecture. It can't be a one-off system.
Right, you don't want to build something that immediately collapses after the first big payout.
Exactly. Fifth is calculation accuracy. With a blockchain payout, there is zero tolerance for error across millions of calculations. And finally, sixth, the absolute security of distributing these rewards on the mainnet blockchain. No exploits, no double spending.
That is a staggering list of variables. The complexity of managing that retroactively, with fairness and security as top priorities. It explains why this isn't a quick fix.
Yeah.
What's the target for the first distribution?
Because of all that, the work is targeted for deployment by the end of Q1 2026.
2026. Okay, that confirms how serious those challenges are. So what does this all mean? Let's summarize our deep dive. The sources show a clear pivot to using AI not just to automate, but to strategically accelerate a critical bottleneck KYC.
Right.
And at the same time, the network is preparing to repurpose that saved human labor for higher value tasks, like AI training.
It's a massive shift in how the network sees its users. The millions of KYC pioneers aren't just participants anymore. The sources describe them as a foundational resource to nurture real utilities in Web3 and AI. Their verified identity is their key asset.
Building on that, this idea of the collectively saved human labor force, it really suggests a future where users of a network are literally paid to train the AI that keeps the whole thing running and secure.
Yeah.
And when you step back, it makes you consider, what is the true economic value of decentralized human feedback when it's tied directly to verified identity? How might this disrupt the traditional centralized AI training companies that pay low rates for unverified data labeling?
It transforms users from consumers into essential, verified data trainers. It creates an entirely new platform economy that's rooted in provable human authenticity.
Food for thought. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.